Hello, Brunch Babes, and thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Business Over Brunch. My name is Kima. I'm your host and creator. I'm also the senior publicist of Maddie Clay Branding and Public Relations and agency director for Red Hat Creative Media Group. So if you've been brunching with us over the last few months, you know that we've been showcasing some wonderful brands. In the month of March, we were talking about innovators, women in the beauty industry, and of course, we're going to continue on with that conversation. Today, I have with me Miss Cynthia Brownlee of Skin by Brownlee & Co. She is an amazing esthetician, which has grown an amazing skincare brand. So I'm going to let her tell her more about herself. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her up. Hi, Sylvia.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Of course, and thanks for giving us a little bit of your time today. So I want to let you introduce yourself, but before we do that, of course, we know it's Saturday morning, it's brunch time. I'm actually having some positive energy yogi tea. What are you having for brunch today?
I am literally just having some water, trying to stay hydrated.
Water is always key, and I'm going to have me a big bottle throughout the day as we're done. So thank you again for joining us. Tell us a little bit about Sylvia and this wonderful skincare brand that you've built over the years.
Yeah, so I am an esthetician. I've been licensed for 27 years now. And I always knew I wanted to be in the beauty industry. I just wasn't sure where in the beauty industry. So during high school, my junior and senior year, I went and took cosmetology. And then when I graduated, I went on to have an apprenticeship under a hairstylist and realized hair was not my thing very fast. But being that I was fully licensed, I was able to kind of venture off into dabble in nails a little bit and then skin. And when I hit skincare, I loved everything about it and loved that I could really help to change the lives of women every day through skincare. And so that is what brings me to where we are today.
Awesome. So you mentioned that you've always wanted to work in the beauty industry. I had some of those same dreams growing up. I always wanted to be a cosmetologist. So as little girls, I think that we all have that moment that defines, who we are as beauty, fashion lovers, whatever. It's always one of the two. What was yours, and how did you see that as, your key to the beauty industry?
I think I just remember like my mom having beautiful skin, like flawless skin, and she had jet black hair. And then like when she would go out somewhere, she would put on her red lip, but like she didn't wear makeup, but it was just all about her skin. And so like I'm like, that's interesting. I just kind of in my mind thought about that, and I never like really thought like, okay, as a young lady or young girl that I wanted to be in the industry. I just remember admiring her beauty. And so now here we are 27 years later, and that still pops up in my mind. And even when I look at myself, I think, oh, I look just like my mom in some facets of how she would carry herself. And just, it feels good to be able to help a woman increase their self-esteem and confidence.
Absolutely. Thinking back to those years when we were little girls, our moms and grandmothers, that red lip, set off everything.
Yeah.
It's definitely making its way back into being, a staple into our makeup bag. So, you mentioned, in your bio, first you mentioned, going from cosmetology to nails, and then skin became your thing. In your bio, I noticed that you said you dealt with both acne and hyperpigmentation. So how does your own personal regimen help you in regards to shaping your career, and then even bringing forth the skincare line that you have?
Oh my God, dealt with, still deal with. As some of you guys know, I'm planning a wedding and getting married at the end of this year in October. And so you can talk about the stress of running a business, planning a wedding, and just everything else that comes with life. And so I'm still struggling with breakouts. So it hasn't stopped, but I just know how to control it. And I know that with the right skincare products, with the right diet and lifestyle changes, that I can clear it. But you can never clear acne 100% and keep it from ever coming back. It's just, it's either genetics or hormonal or stress related. There's something that causes it, but we can definitely keep it under control. And so that's where my skincare line comes in, which I use 100%, of course, being consistent with that morning and night, making sure I'm staying hydrated, making sure that, I'm not going to bed with makeup on. It's all the little things that make the huge difference in your skin. And just I am able to share that knowledge and information with my clients and people that aren't my clients yet all over the world via skincare.
Awesome. Yeah. So, of course, hydration is very, very, very important. I think a lot of people forget how much being hydrated impacts so much of, who we are, our skin, our hair, our nails, our health. So different things. I can always tell when my water intake is really low because I see it, in my hair before I'll see it in
Absolutely.
my skin. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see dry scalp, you'll see
Mhm.
flaky scalp. With your skin, you're not seeing it as glowy and dewy
Right.
as you normally would, even with your body.
Absolutely. So, if we don't have Skin by Brownlee in our cabinets yet, what are some basic products that we should have, and what should a skincare routine look like so that we can have wonderful glowing skin like yours?
Yeah, so absolutely. So if you are new to skincare, not really sure what you should be doing, there are a few items you should always have. One is a very gentle cleanser to start, something that doesn't have a lot of acids and it's not exfoliating. It's just going to be gentle that you can use every day and night. You want to have a light exfoliator that you might use once or twice a week, a moisturizer that won't clog your pores. So it's okay to say that it's oil free, but still hydrating. And then last but not least, sunscreen. Every woman needs sunscreen, no matter what color she is, no matter what nationality, and no matter if she's working from home, going to the office, going to the gym, she still needs it every single day.
Awesome. I am guilty. I everything you had me up until the sunscreen
Oh
part.
my gosh, I
So
hear
I
that often.
definitely so I definitely need to make sure that I go and look into some of the brands. I've seen some wonderful ones out there. Definitely will be checking out yours. Yeah, that sunscreen, I've always thought of that as I hate to say that, but like something that we didn't need, Black
Mhm.
women didn't need, but more and more over the last few years, I'm seeing that being highlighted more and more, in protecting our skin. Of course, we know as the ozone layer and all that stuff is breaking down, you definitely want to protect yourself. So I'm guilty. So everybody, I hope you have made notes of your list, what you're missing. I'm sure I'm not the only one missing the
Yeah, so
sunscreen
like
part.
sunscreen. So the thing is we want to protect you want a sunscreen that protects you against the UVA and UVB rays, which ours does. So not only when you're in the house, you're on the computer, those blue rays are aging to the
Mhm.
skin. So a lot of us are working from home nowadays. We still haven't gone back into the office. So you're on the computer all day. And if you're not on the computer, you're on your cell phones. You've got those rays coming from one way or the other. And then we're driving to and from work. You've got the rays, of course, coming through there. Or if you're sitting at an office inside, you still got sun coming in. And you might even have fluorescent lighting, which is also damaging to the skin. So, we all need it. And yes, African American women do have some melanin naturally in their skin, but it doesn't mean we don't need it.
Right. And I never thought about the rays coming from the computer and the ring lights and the sun. So see,
Oh,
this is why we have these conversations so that
absolutely.
we can learn what we're missing out on. I never thought about that. And then I've been working from home for the last 2 years and always being in front of a computer. So yeah, I'm going to go get some sunscreen.
As soon as this is over.
Definitely going to go get some sunscreen. So we have been talking about, innovators in the beauty industry, and I'm so glad that we had this opportunity to sit down and talk. So people just think of estheticians as taking care of your skin. They don't really see, anything outside the box that you could be doing differently. So you have an app, you have a customized acne treatment, you have a bridal boot camp, which I thought was very interesting. So tell us a little bit about some of those offerings that you have with Skin by Brownlee and Co. that set you apart from others in the aesthetics industry.
Yeah. So, like, I thought that when working with clients, I wanted to make sure that they could have something that was easily accessible, right? So where they could access what their routine should be, they could upload their pictures. Uploading their pictures allows me to have a client in Africa, in
Mhm.
North Carolina, in Ohio, no matter where you are. All you have to do is download our app and we can see your pictures. And that way we can create a routine for you. And then we hop on Zoom, we chat a little bit about concerns and coming up with a custom plan just for your skin type. And there you have it. And all of that is done right through our app, which makes things amazing. We've had a lot of success with working with clients all over the world just because of our app and just constantly revamping that, making it better, seeing how we can make it easier, make your life easier, which helps you get clear.
Right.
Yeah. And then the bridal boot camp, brides always think about, oh, the wedding planner, the florist, their dress. but think about your makeup. Like, so your makeup, when you have anyone that suffered with acne or breakouts knows that you can cover it up fine, but you're still going to see that inflammation through those breakouts,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the more flawless your skin is, the easier you make the job of the makeup artist and the more pleased you are with the outcome. So you want to start at about 6 months out working on your skin from your wedding. That's super important. And a lot of people don't think about that. So not only your face, but your back as well. There's a lot of people that don't break out on their
Yeah.
face sometimes suffer from back knee. And so we want to be able to get that back clear and smooth, especially if you have a dress where the back is out like mine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want any spots on my back when people
Right.
are going to be looking at my back while I'm standing up at the altar. And so I'm like, I want to give them a nice glow, a nice canvas to see. But yeah, so bridal boot camp is definitely real. We get some amazing brides that come out of that extremely happy.
Awesome. And what made you, I know you just kind of gave us the walkthrough of why it's important, but what was the defining moment for you to say, hey, let's do something for our brides. Let's put together this program for them.
I think it was just thinking like I would talk to people and just hear them saying, oh, my makeup, I gotta find my makeup artist. My clients, like, oh, I'm getting married, and the skincare wasn't really like at the top of their list because they just felt like, well, my makeup artist will take care of it. And it's like, okay. But what about your skin at the, beforehand, pictures beforehand, before your makeup? I've seen some before and afters, before someone applies the makeup and after. And it's like, absolutely not to take anything away from that makeup artist. They do an amazing job, but I want my before picture to still look good.
Right. Right. And that's amazing. Like, that's something that people really don't think about. And I've, dabbled in makeup artistry, worked with a makeup artist before, and I never heard that conversation with the bride about, okay, what is your skincare regimen? Because we did have a bride who the person ended up not taking because she wanted airbrush makeup, but she had acne. And we were like, okay, first of all, we don't do airbrush, but your skin, it's not going to look as flawless as you think it is. And we arrived to do the bridal party. It was exactly what, she said was going to happen, but we didn't have that conversation with her about, what is your skincare regimen? How far away is the wedding? What are you doing to help, take away some of that swelling or redness or different things like that. So yeah, that's a really good conversation to have, especially when you're planning like a really big day, like a wedding or, any type of celebration. So I love it.
A little bit of prep goes a long way.
A long way. So, of course, we're already near the end of March. We have a lot of summer brides coming up. Will 2 months give them, any type of difference, or should it be longer before they get to their big day?
So if you only have 2 months left, I would take advantage of those 2 months. We recommend 6 months at least. So 6 months prior to your wedding is great. It gives us some time for you to get adjusted to the products, change some things that you're eating, make some healthier lifestyle changes. And then we work through that process. But if you only have 2 months, 2 months can help as well.
Awesome. So if anybody's planning a wedding out there, make sure you go on to Skin by Brownlee & Co. and go ahead and sign up for that bridal boot camp so we can get your skin glowing and have that flawless makeup for your portraits and wedding day. So I want to talk about, there's an Instagram page, Target While Black. And so she likes some amazing brands. So we know that Skin by Brownlee & Co. is now on Target.com. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us about that process and how you felt when your pitch was accepted for placement in the e-commerce site.
Oh my God. I think up until the actual day that it launched, it just didn't hit me. I just did not think it was real. They actually reached out to me via a DM on Instagram, and I didn't open it, because I thought it was spam. But I could see the email. How you can see part of a message. Right. So I screenshot it and I sent an email back, just like, hey, just inquiring. I noticed a DM, and they responded and were like, yeah, we're excited to talk to you. We'd love to chat more about Skin by Brownlee & Co. And so I went through that process actually a year ago, last March. And it was, presenting your brand, going through, the decks and them reviewing your items and just talking about why your brand would be a great fit for Target. And it was a great experience. And it's easy to talk about your brand, right? Like it's your baby, it better than anyone else. So that wasn't the hard part. I think the most stressful part was, one, keeping it a secret, and two, like just knowing what to expect. You know, it's the unknown. I had no clue what to expect. I didn't know anyone that was in Target stores or on Target.com. So it was kind of like, okay, like, I mean, what's next? And they did offer, you know, classes, virtual classes and things like that, which was very helpful. And give you a list of people to reach out to that could help you along the process. So yeah, here we are. What are we, like, what's today? Almost 2 months in. Being live on Target.com. 4 of our top selling products are on there, and yeah, it's doing pretty well. I'm pretty pleased. I think I got the biggest excitement on January 24th when I actually went to Target.com and saw the products there.
Yeah.
It's
real.
It's real.
It's real. So great. So if they had not reached out to you, would that have been, was that already in your line of sight, wanting to be, you know, in a big box retailer, or was it just something that the opportunity presented itself and you're good to go?
Yeah, no, it wasn't, honestly. It was just the opportunity presented itself. And so I said, okay, let's see what happens. It wasn't in that 5-year goal plan. You know, I'm like really just working on increasing brand awareness, which that definitely did. So I guess if you look at it from that perspective, yes, in increasing brand awareness, but I hadn't had my sights set on, okay, I want to be in Target, you know?
So for someone so of course this came as, you know, they reached out to you, and knowing what you know now, for someone who maybe have that, you know, in their line of sight, or if you're looking to possibly, you know, place Skin by Brownlee and Co. somewhere else, what would be like maybe 1 or 2 things that you would say people need to do to have their brands ready to be in retail, whether it be a boutique or a big box retailer like Target?
I don't know that I'm the expert to answer that just yet because I'm so new. But what I would say is what's really important is always knowing your numbers. You know, knowing your numbers is important regardless. Your margins, where you want to be, and know your goals and what your plan is, and always know your why. Because what you're doing, wherever you want to place your products, it has to fit. It has to be a good fit, right? Like you can't just go with anyone that reaches out just because people think it's a good opportunity. It has to make sense in your why as well. Every opportunity is not a good opportunity, and every no is not a bad thing either. It could be a not yet or not this one. So I would say stay encouraged, do your homework, you know, just as they interview us, interview them to make sure it's a good fit. So those would be my top 2, knowing your numbers and interviewing them while they're interviewing you.
Awesome. So a few years ago, or maybe even more recent than I'm thinking, you started off with your skincare, your brand as Pure Beauty Skincare Bar. Am I saying that right?
Pure Beauty
Skin Bar in Ohio. And then you transitioned over to Skin by Brownlee and Co. How was that process like for you? Because I know some people are scared of rebranding. I've done it. It's a process. What was that process like for you? And how do you think it prepared you for this moment now?
So when I did it because of like trademark and things like that. And I realized that there were a lot of pure beauties out there. And I didn't want my brand to be confused with any other brand. And when I thought about rebranding, I was very nervous. I was like, people already know me as this, you know, and I was nervous, but I was just like, you know, no time like the present. I think I was right at 5 years, maybe. Yeah, I think I was at like 5 years, going into year 5. And so I'm like, okay, let's just do it. And I really wanted something that resonated with me. Skin by Brownlee and Co. Obviously, my last name is Brownlee, but I am also the last living Brownlee in my family.
Oh, wow.
So it gives the legacy to the name. The name lives on. And there's no guess on what we do, right? It's skin. So whether it's body, whether it's face, whatever it is, we're always talking about skin. That's the number one thing. And so there is no question about what we're targeting. I think at first clients were like, oh, why'd you change the name? I liked Pure Beauty. And I'm like, well, you know, Skin by Brownlee Co. has more meaning. And then now they're like, okay, I like it, you know, and they like the new logo. They're getting used to it. So with change, everything, there's always a little bit of struggle. But I think now I mean, I'm very happy with the change. I'm very happy with the rebrand, the colors, everything. I still kept
Right.
it neutral, but skin just says it all.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I definitely, if I ever am out in Ohio, I'm definitely going to stop by and say hello at the
You have
location.
to. You
I
have to.
definitely will. So, this has been a great conversation. Learned so much. I'm definitely going to go be checking out some sunscreen. That's
Yes.
what I'm missing in my skincare regimen.
Okay.
Um, we definitely want to know, for anyone interested in going into aesthetics, what would be some advice that you would give them, or what's been some of your shining moments as being an esthetician over the last 27 years?
If you're going into aesthetics, as you know, usually when you go to school, you learn to pass the board. So you learn to pass the state board. And then you start really learning. So what I would say is if you want to go to aesthetic school, get your education, pay attention in school, of course, get a mentor and get a specialty. A mentor in every aspect of your business. So not just a person that does skin mentor, but a business mentor,
Mhm.
financial mentor. Those are all important depending on where you want to go with your brand or your business. And then also study your craft and never stop learning.
Right.
Taking classes several times a year is always something for me. And when I take classes, I'm very particular on those classes because there's always something new coming out, right, in the world of aesthetics. So there's like all these different modalities and different, new trends. And I'm not really on trend. I focus on acne and hyperpigmentation. So I'm not taking a class that's not acne and hyperpigmentation. I'm taking
Mhm.
only those classes or business classes. Like if there's something new that's in rosacea, I don't specialize in rosacea. So I'm not going to spend my time on that. Now, anti-aging does come into play when we talk about acne because you can be anywhere from your teens all the way up to there's women in their 50s and 60s still breaking out, right?
Mm.
Because of their hormones. So anti-aging and acne work hand in hand. And a lot of my products that are for acne are also anti-aging, like
Okay.
retinols and things like that. And a lot of people don't realize that. So I think kind of acne, anti-aging, hyperpigmentation, those all are like in one little bowl for me. And that's where my focus lies. And I think it's better to be a specialist versus a generalist because then
Mhm.
you can really go in and like, hone in on your craft.
Yeah, absolutely. And every industry has those niche markets in
Mhm.
where there's a need. People may not realize how much of a need there is for someone who specializes in acne and hyperpigmentation. And I know
Absolutely.
even though we've been home for the last 2 years, people have had skin challenges that they haven't had previously. Like you said, brought
Yes.
on by stress and, being in front of the computer or just, mental health that can impact
Oh
skin.
my
So
gosh. Yeah.
definitely, it's always good to have a niche within a particular industry. I do want to back up. There is one question I forgot to ask you earlier, so sorry
No
to skip
problem.
that. With the skincare regimen, because you mentioned it with like the different ingredients. When you're looking for a skincare brand, are there any particular ingredients we should stay away from?
Well, that's going to depend on everybody's skin, right? So you want to kind of stay away from parabens, and you want to stay away from you want to look for things that say like cruelty free, not
Mhm.
tested on animals and things like that. But everybody's skin is so different nowadays. Some people's skin is more sensitive than others, so you
Right.
want to be mindful of that. And one thing I would say is when you start to use a new product, always remember less is more. So a lot of people think, oh, I got this breakout or I got this mark. I'm going to put a lot of product
Mhm.
on. And that's where we mess up. So 2 to 3 drops of your serum is plenty. Always when you start out like with a new active. And when I say
Mhm.
active, I mean like a serum or a moisturizer that has like an active ingredient like salicylic acid,
Mhm.
lactic acid, glycolic acid, a retinol. You want to start using those only a couple times a week versus daily. And
Okay.
that's, I think, a big mistake that people make is they'll go in full force using it every day. And then they wonder, like, oh my God, my skin is raw, or this broke me out, or it's too irritating. Whereas it could just be overuse of products.
Right. So that's why it's important when you're getting a skincare regimen, don't just go get something off the shelf, but get someone who's knowledgeable in the product who can, like Sylvia, assess your skin, make sure you have the right products, the right daily regimen or, bi-daily regimen so that you're not doing more damage to your skin.
Absolutely. And the other thing I would say too, two things. we have a skincare quiz on our website. So if you're a little confused and not sure, like, okay, there's a lot of products here, I don't know what to do, you can take our skincare quiz on our website. But then the other thing is read the instructions. A lot of people don't read, and typically it tells you use a pea size of this product or use it every other day, and people kind of just go
for
it.
So yeah, so I've been guilty of that. Not with my skin, but with my hair. I try to be more careful with my skin.
Yeah.
See that first before you see anything else. So awesome. So we know that we can go onto your website. I was looking at it. I've looked at it a couple of times, and I feel like every time I see something different that catches my attention. So definitely go to skinbybrownleeandco.com. Schedule your virtual consultation. If you are a bride, make sure that you find out information about the Bridal Boot Camp. Is there anything that you have coming up within this year that we need to turn our notifications for to be on the lookout?
Ooh, well, yeah. So like today we're going to go live later on and talk about healthy mocktails. So instead of having a cocktail, we're teaching you about mocktails. I'm doing a March Madness mocktail march. And so no alcohol for me, but then also just teaching you how to lead a healthier lifestyle. And then the other thing is I'm doing a couple speaking engagements in the next couple of weeks. So tune in so you can see that. It's all about business in the aesthetics world. So you can tune in and find out some tools and tips and tricks about that.
Awesome. So Mocktail March, love it. And then be on the lookout for any speaking engagements where you can learn some business tips from Sylvia in the aesthetics industry. Sylvia, thank you again for joining me today. It's been great. I've learned some things that I did not know about skincare. I'm still going back to the sunscreen, so I'm definitely going to get some.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yes, of course. Is there anything, I feel like, when I have these conversations, it's always great. We can go on and on and on. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you feel is important when it comes to skincare or branding or preparing your brand for retail?
I think two things. One thing is when you're trying to clear your skin or working on changes in your skincare or your business, trust the process and remain consistent.
Absolutely. And that applies to anything in life. So absolutely. So other than the website, how can we connect with you?
Yeah, so you can connect on our social media channels, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter at Skin by Brownlee & Co.
Awesome. Everything consistent, like she said.
Yes.
So thank you all so much for joining us for this edition of Business Over Brunch. Again, we invite you to brunch with us every first and third Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I am your host and creator, Kima Boyer, and we were joined today by the lovely Sylvia Brownlee of Skin by Brownlee & Co. Thank you again, Sylvia, for giving us a part of your day and joining us for brunch. Until the next time, be blessed and enjoy whatever is on your brunch menu.
Thank you.